Well, I was born in 1959. I was born in Ruislip, which is a suburb northeast of London, but fairly shortly my parents moved us down to Devon, lovely place called Ottery St Mary. I went to school in Exeter and then in a place called All Hallows, a public school in England, where I discovered the joys of black and white printing and processing. When one finishes one's A-levels, you have a choice. You either leave the school, get the heck out, or you do something useful. So they had a black and white darkroom, I cleaned it up, I learned how to process film. And that led me into this idea of, I'd like to be a photographer. I happened to be in a pub called the Wheat Sheaf in the King's Road, and this chap called Jeff Harold walked in. He was some chap at Zenith Lighting, and he knew I was a photographer. I said, have you got something to do tonight? I said, no, not a lot. He said, okay, take this pass. He slung it on my leather jacket, and it's Graham Park and the Aruma, another great area. Get yourself down to Hammersmith Odeon, take some pictures. Had no idea what I was doing, but it turned out to be a fantastic gig. And 15 years on, I was still taking rock and roll pictures of the greatest bands, from Queen to Yes to Fleetwood Mac to AC/DC to Iron Maiden, all sorts of things. And basically for the lighting companies and the production companies, so I wasn't there photographing for images that turned up in the Melody Maker or the New Musical Express, the two magazines around at the time. These pictures I took, which are now very rare, just turned up on, I printed them, framed them and put them on a wall. And that's what and that moved into taking pictures of loudspeakers and taking pictures of the sound desks, the lighting desks, the trussing, the cabling. Everybody just wanted to have a go. You have to have several cameras. You have no time to change lenses. You have no time to change between transparency, negative, black and white. So we had lots of cameras and strong shoulders and strong necks, and we just had a great deal of fun. And so, yeah, it was done on a wing and a prayer, really, because people believed in you. You could get that picture, and yeah, it worked out for me. It's fantastic. It didn't work out for some people, but it certainly did for me. It was great fun. I think some of the memorable moments would be having taken the photographs, and this is for Fleetwood Mac. They saw the pictures. Well, they wanted to see the pictures, so they invited me to a restaurant just outside Petit France, which is where the passport office is in central London. And I sat in between Christine McVie and Stevie Nicks and showed the pictures, and I thought, fantastic, we're going to use all these in our next year's tour brochure. And that was an absolute plus to me, fantastic. And then afterwards, I guess the biggest gig I've done would be Roger Waters' The Wall in Berlin. It was just fantastic. The wall came down in 1989. I was there, yes, agreed. But I went back out there in 1990. I've still got the pictures, I've still got the pass. And I was employed by 18 clients on a day rate for 5 days. It was just super, super fun. Rock and roll. Back in the day, going to advertising agencies prior to the internet, obviously, because I'm very old, we used to take our books to see art buyers and art directors. We used to take them to a place called the traffic department. And you drop your book off, and once the art buyer, art director has seen them, it was back in the traffic department, and you'd walk into traffic and say, it's the black one over there. Because everyone had black or silver cases. So it dawned on me one day, why don't I just ask a mate of mine, which did powder coating just down the end of the corridor from the studio I had in Battersea, powder coated. So I gave it to him and I said, well, whatever colour you want. And he came back 2 weeks later and presented me with this, which was somewhat surprising to walk around central London in Soho with a very, very pink case, but I was noticed. And so inside here, we have some of my, I guess, most noticeable rock and roll shots. The first one that's going to come up is my first ever published picture, which is on this side. Still in Love with You by Thin Lizzy, and I happened to be at the right place at the right time. There's no Photoshop back in 1980, 1979 when I shot this thing. And apart from the fact they spelled my name wrong, but that's the way we used to do things. And then we moved into, you know, pictures of Saxon with a huge eagle, which was fantastic fun. ZZ Top, I was actually on the stage for that sort of thing. And this thing here, well, yeah, we got in a lot of trouble about that one. This one over here, we left that on Chase and went down the pub, and it was in just by Tower Bridge. People got very upset, the police, namely, because it stopped everyone, which was pretty good. That's Stevie Wonder. Interesting thing about Stevie Wonder, you can see all these people sort of just lifting out through down here through the stage itself. When the gig started, the motors stopped, and so all you could see was a bunch load of the percussion people and not a lot of the drummer. That was sorted out. That's very, very early Bryan Adams. A bloke walked in and said, "We need a camera that's going to make a noise for the front part of our single called Girls on Film." I said, "Okay, well, I've got one. I've got a Nikon with me because I'm shooting on Nikons and 2.25s and stuff. Can we try it?" And I said, "Yeah." So they listened to it and it sounded like this, which you may remember is the opening of Girls on Film. I've done this for a long while. 4 decades I've been photographing rock and roll bands in the hundreds. Been around the world twice. I've been to 61 countries. I've had a super, super time. And my name's Nik the Flash. And that is what I've always remained to be and remembered as such.